Ashley, what's up? How you doing? Welcome to the Elevate Event Series podcast. Thank you for coming on. I was telling you a little bit in the brief. I am really looking forward to this one. In particular, I got to meet you guys, you and Nicole, last week over the Zoom, and I'm looking forward to learning more about impact staffing, what you guys do, and just more about you as a person. And thank you for coming on the Elevate Event Series podcast.
Thank you so much, Harrison. So nice to see you again.
Great to see you. And so for those people that are viewing, like, who are you? Give us just a quick, who are you? Who is Ashley?
Wow, how much time do you have, Harrison? I'm
Loaded
just kidding.
question. The 2 minute elevator spiel.
All right, so I'm originally from Chicago, born and raised. Decided to take a leap of faith, went all the way to Austin, to University of Texas for school. For sure did the victory lap, that good 5 years. Bartended on 6th Street all 5 years. Didn't want to leave, my parents made me. And then I started with a recruiting and staffing firm right after I graduated. I was with them for over 18 years, worked my way up. And then a year and a half ago, took a leap of faith and started my own staffing firm. So now I'm the owner and CEO of Impact Staffing International. I have 2 little kids at home, a 2-year-old Christian and a 4-year-old Brooklyn, married 7 years. We're in the 7-year stretch and live in Lakewood.
Wow, amazing. First off, love Lakewood. Second off, victory lap, double victory lap, right with you.
Yes.
Why not?
I mean, if you don't take the victory lap, did you even enjoy college?
Are you even in sales? Are you even in sales,
Are you even in sales if you
Yeah.
can't tell your parents to do the victory lap?
Yeah.
Let's go.
6th Street, Austin. I mean, I always thought that would be a crazy place to go to school. Michigan State was crazy, but we had a lot of snow. I mean, what was going to school in Austin like?
Coming from Chicago where we did have snow.
Yeah, true. You understand.
Yes, my parents actually did not want me to go there. They wanted me to stay in the Midwest. So they actually never had me visit the school, but I'm very spontaneous. And I said, I'm going anyway. My vision was I was going to ride a horse to school and meet a cowboy. Come to find out, it is in the middle of a city, Austin, and we are not riding horses. And that's why I actually lived on 6th Street. I joined a sorority, of course, just to meet friends. I lived in the dorm with all the athletes and walkable to the stadium, rushed college, of course. So Austin was probably one of the best experiences for me, brought me to Texas, and now I live in Dallas. And I just love being a Texan. Even though I'm from Chicago, I'm a true Texan now, baby.
Straight up, I say y'all. I'm 1/3, a third of my life. I'm definitely 1/3 Texan.
Okay, Harrison, have you got into the fixin' to? That's the one thing I can't get into. Like, I'm fixin' to go to the store.
Well, I'm going to do something. I'm not.
Yeah.
Something. Yeah, but y'all is. I mean, if we're gonna get way off topic in the very beginning here, can we talk about how y'all is just such a smarter word than you guys?
Use guys. Like, who says that? Just
I did when I first came here, and then I met enough Texas people. They made fun of me enough that it's y'all now, and everyone's like,
"It is y'all." Yes,
are you from Texas? No, I'm from Detroit. I just say y'all. Like,
yes.
leave me alone.
My nickname in Chicago, at UT was Chicago because everyone was like, "Why are you here? How did you get here? You're Chicago," and of course it was Chicago.
Yeah,
I've been in Texas a long time now, and mom and pop, which I still say, but y'all is just coming off the tongue easy.
It's just a better word. It's a better conjunction. It needs to be adopted everywhere. Just like Gulf of Mexico changed to Gulf of America, you guys should just be officially into y'all, and everything will be a better place.
Have you put y'all in a professional email? Because I have. That's when you know it's real.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
To a client?
Yeah.
Can y'all meet us for a client lunch next Tuesday? The answer is always yes.
Yes, but way better than you guys. But what is impact staffing? What makes y'all different? We're obviously it's a staffing agency, but can you just kind of tell us a little bit about what impact staffing is and what sets you apart in the marketplace?
Absolutely. Thank you for asking. Impact staffing is a dream I've had as a little girl. My dad was an entrepreneur, so I've always had that entrepreneurial spirit. I worked for a very large staffing and recruiting company for, like I said, almost 20 years. I learned what I loved. I learned what I was passionate about. And I decided to make my own company even better. So Impact Staffing International obviously is women owned, but that's not just what defines us. We help companies find the right talent And we place candidates at those companies, anything from entry level all the way up to C-level executives. And there's 100 million things that makes us different, but I would say the number one is the people that work for our company. We're special, we're passionate, we're humble, we're good listeners. We do it for the glory of God, and we just come in every day to make an impact. And that's where that word came from for me. It's not just being impactful in my life, but making an impact on our customers, making an impact on our candidates. When we get a candidate a dream job, the email or the call or the note or the gift from the candidate saying, "Thank you so much. You've changed my life. You found me my dream job. This is exactly where I wanted to be. My family's life has changed because of this job that you helped me find." Or from a client that says, "This is impossible to find. I have this huge project that's on my back, and I need a candidate to help me fulfill this issue I'm having. My internal recruiters can't help me. Can you please help me find someone?" And within a week or two, we provide them with a candidate that they could not live without and they did not know existed. That little bit of thank you, that little bit of yes, we did it, is exactly why we started this company, is exactly why we do what we do.
So how are you finding the candidates? And then I guess follow-up question on that, right? Is it a substitute teacher position, or are you finding permanent positions?
Yeah, great question. Most candidates are somewhere on the web, whether it's LinkedIn Recruiter, Career Builder, Monster, Dice, you name it. But most candidates are passive. So when a client asks us to find an impossible position, we're not just finding people who have their posted resume. We're actually identifying talent that is a little bit more passive in the market. And we're finessing that relationship with them to explain to them why they should leave their job for this other role that we have. There is a lot of relationship building in there, whether it's from the client really understanding what they need or finding the candidate who didn't really think they wanted to leave their current job for another opportunity. So it's a really important matchmaking skill that we have. And yes, right now, I would say the amount of opportunities that we have are all over the board in terms of skill sets and labor categories. We can find anything from an entry level call center help desk person, admin assistant, all the way up to maybe somebody in IT, maybe somebody in sales, maybe someone in marketing, engineering, audit, all the way up to C-level executives. We just placed a really high-level senior person at an oil and gas company making $300,000 a year. So we can do everything from contract, which is more temp labor. We need someone for 3 months. We have someone going on maternity leave. Can you backfill a contractor? All the way up to permanent. We need someone here full-time to help us with the projects that we have and the initiatives that we have. So we can do everything from entry level to senior, contract to permanent.
So what are you, is it DFW specific? Are you all over the country? What?
We're headquartered here in DFW, y'all. Okay. We're headquartered here. But happily, we have placed people in 12 states already in the year and a half that we've been open. So we are eligible and able to staff in all 50 states on both contract and perm. And it just depends where the client needs someone. We put Impact Staffing International in our name, so that way in the future we will go abroad, but right now we are any US based.
So US based companies. And then, are you just a severe LinkedIn stalker? Like, how are you
We
finding
love a good stalking. Yeah. A lot of networking, a lot of referrals. Stalking, if you will, is a great word. But yeah, all of these places where candidates have their resumes are really where we're finding them. And then obviously asking candidates on the call, do you know anyone else? Do you have any referrals? That's where we've gotten a lot of talent and also a lot of clients.
Yeah, the ask for a referral button is, I just went to this mastermind course. His name's Bill Walsh. He helps you basically scale and grow your business. And the ask for a referral button, so that's the first thing he teaches you, is that you should always have an ask for a referral button on your website. I think that's a key, to any business. Is like, hey, okay, maybe you're not my potential buyer, but there's, I need a referral. So that's cool. That's
actually, I'm glad you touched on that. I think that's an area where salespeople are lacking. And that's a confidence thing, right? Asking someone for something is a confidence thing and a sales tactic that not a lot of salespeople are using these days. Where I think we have had such a blessing is if we can fill a position with a client, these clients have been really proactive in giving us referrals and introducing us to their peers and saying, hey, Vanessa, you've done an amazing job on my positions. Let me introduce you to this person who's also hiring. Or, wow, Carly, look at you. You're so professional. You filled this flawlessly. You were easy to work with. I know someone at a different client I would love to introduce you to. So I'm just so grateful for that. And that just really proves to me and shows me how well we're doing, because it's less about us cold calling and more about our work has proven to our clients that we're good at what we do, and therefore they're referring us out.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's like the ultimate social proof is when your client, refers you to
That's
another
what I
client.
think. Yes.
Yeah,
I appreciate you saying that, because it's those little things that, keep you up at night as a CEO. Like, how can we improve? What can we be doing better? How do we grow our business? And then we'll get a referral, which opens up an entire account that we never even knew existed, or that they hired and they need our services. And so it just is really a humbling experience to be a part of a company that people want to work with us. We've had amazing success because of the people that work for us are just, I want to say we're just real people. We're not salesy. We were at a conference once in LA last year, and I'll never forget, this client came up to us at the end of the conference and said, wow, there are a lot of buzzing bumblebees around here trying to get our business, annoying. He did say AF. And you guys are just not that. You're professional, you're poised, and the way that you communicate, the way that you work, the way that you are not salesy is why I want to work with you.
yeah, and I think just from our brief talks, it's definitely you guys are fun,
We're
fun
fun.
to talk to. You're just enjoying what you do. So I think that's a breath of fresh air to any
Great.
industry.
Thank you.
How okay, we talked about all the good. What give me a couple issues with your business? Like what are the two biggest issues or the biggest issue right now that you're finding is challenging right now in your business?
I think as a CEO, you're always thinking about how could we be better? What's the technology? AI, that's a big keyword right now.
God, don't get me
Don't get me
started. Don't
started
get
on
me down this
AI. We
AI
got
road.
robots everywhere, in y'all.
Yeah.
And we've really gone down that path. We've gone down the path of having a robot call. And when I went to bed at night and slept on it and prayed about it, I just thought, man, the reason why we're so special is we're humans. We bring a human element to both the candidate and client experience. We're not a robot. We're not sending a robot text message. Hey, we've got this position that I'm sure everybody's getting right now. My husband actually sent me a text this morning of an AI robot text. Are you in the job market, John? And I just thought, man, that's not us. That's not who I want to be. If that means we don't become an $8 billion staffing firm, and so be it. I think I want to be known for being a true, real, down home, good y'all set of people who just value relationships and value growing the business. So I would say AI. And then, we're a year and a half in. So who doesn't want to scale? Who doesn't want to grow? And internally hiring the right talent who work with us. If I were to describe the person that works here, man, you got to have passion. You got to have grit. You got to have a do whatever it takes mentality. I have a girl here today who feeling a little under the weather, but she's like, I'm not going to miss a day to come in. I know that I want to crush it. I know that I can still work. So we hire the right mindset of human that works here that doesn't want to let anybody down. If we have positions to fill, we're coming in, we're doing whatever it takes to fill the positions. We just have the right mindset. And so really finding internal people, I don't want to say, Gen Z problem is, oh, I want to work from home and I want to take my dog out all day. But, it's hard to find someone who realizes the value of what it takes to actually work your tail off. But in exchange, the opportunity, the growth, the advancement, the relationships you can build with your clients and your customers it's a tough job being a salesperson. It's not meant for everyone, but if you're good at it, there's nothing better than being a salesperson.
So, okay, so I've always wondered this about the staffing, like staffing industry is so, I mean, your clients are, I mean, I guess is kind of twofold for you guys. Like, do you first acquire the client that needs the jobs and then you go acquire the talent, or do you have a talent? Do you guys have people dedicated to finding the talent and then people dedicated to finding the clients? Like, walk me through how staffing works in general, or how you guys how it works for y'all.
So there's difference between staffing and consulting. So think about Accenture as a consulting firm. They actually have a bench of technicians, a bench of people that are payrolled by Accenture waiting for the next opportunity that Accenture sells, and then they put the butt in the seat. The problem with that is maybe Accenture sells to Pepsi to bring them on. Well, they're looking at their bench of technicians and maybe they put somebody in there who needs to be placed and they're on their payroll and maybe they're not quite the right fit. So the job isn't done as well as it could be. A true staffing company finds the client first. The client gives us the hiring position and then we go out and identify the talent that matches perfectly. So we're very much client facing forward. Candidates will come after.
And but I guess at the same time, I mean, I guess it probably, works simultaneously, because you did speak about earlier how you're finding people that are, which I'm sure those are the good candidates, the people that already have jobs that may be looking to switch. So how does that timetable look like? I mean, I'm sure there's nurturing of just good
Yes.
candidates. Like, how do y'all do that?
Yes. I mean, for an open position, we may talk to 30 people before we find the right fit. So out of the 29 others that don't actually make the placement, that's still a nurtured candidate that we are figuring out what's your salary expectations? Where do you live? Do you want to be on site? Do you want to be remote? What are you currently getting paid? In order for you to leave your job, what would you need in a salary bump in order to get that next role? And then we put them in our database. And as new positions come in, we think, oh my gosh, remember that girl we spoke to last week? She would be perfect for this. So, yes, you still are creating a candidate database of quality people that you're putting in there, but it's very much you have to have a position to put the candidate in first.
Yeah, and that totally makes sense. Your business is, it's definitely centered around finding the client, but then your guys'
Correct.
secret sauce is I had this conversation with this person. I think they'd
Correct.
be a great fit.
Yes. And speed is also the name of the game, right? So
Yeah, I was gonna say how long. Yeah, yeah.
the more candidates you have in your database, the easier it is to fill something quicker. Cause you can think, like I said, man, I talked to this girl last week. Let's see if she's available. Boom, she's available and perfect. So it is kind of double dipping there, trying to find candidates, putting them in our database. So that way, when we have the right position, we can fill it. Some positions are easier to fill than others. Some positions have specific technology requirements or like right now, we're working on a position in Paducah, Kentucky. There's not a whole lot
Okay.
of people in Paducah, Kentucky. So now we've got to find someone who's willing to relocate to Paducah, Kentucky. So, what does that relocation package look like? All the things. That's why this job seems easy to people because it seems like a matchmaking, but there are a lot of client requirements and the candidates have to match perfectly. Otherwise, it's not a match. So it's a lot of legwork on the back end to identify the right talent.
And so, okay, I mean, I think I've asked this question, but I'm trying to, so is it LinkedIn specific? Are you finding people through events? Like, are you finding
Yeah,
people?
a little bit of both. I would say most of our clients, how we're receiving our clients is a lot of networking. It's a lot of events. It's a lot of get out there and see who you're meeting. And then for candidates, it's a lot of outbound calls. It's a lot of outbound in-mails on LinkedIn. It's going through all those databases where candidates post their resumes and then starting to have that relationship with them to hopefully convince them to take another role, or maybe they're already in the job market. That convincing is a little less because they're available. But yes, I would say the number one tool for staffing firms right now is LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. Okay.
Yeah.
And then follow up on that. So you're located in DFW. You find clients all over the country. How do you do that? or do you have people all over the country, or is it you guys
We're
you
all
just here? Or?
here, actually. We're all here. All of our recruiters are here. All of our account executives are here. Our headquarters are here. Like, as an example, I don't want to give our client names away on this
Yeah,
podcast,
no,
but as an
no.
example, we met someone at a networking working event. They're headquartered in California. So now we have a client, a company that's headquartered in California. They hire both in California and in Ohio, and we're just maneuvering, and we really like to be in person. I would say 99% of our clients are somehow, somebody is in DFW, because that's part of the relationship. They trust us, they know who we are, they've met with
Okay.
us.
Yeah.
But there are outliers of clients who we do have to have Teams calls, and it's less in-person meeting.
So why DFW? Why, I mean, we
Oh
talked
my
about
gosh.
Chicago, but like what
Ugh.
do you love about DFW in specific?
This market is insane. We had a client meeting yesterday right off 635 by the Galleria in a corporate tower for one client who had 6 levels, and it's like a 13-level building. Every other level had other clients on it that we could be calling on. I mean, the market here is insane in terms of the opportunity. We're the top 5 largest markets for the staffing world. There is no better city to be doing what we're doing than DFW. We're part of I forget the exact words, it's like Dallas National Chamber of Commerce. And they were telling us that last year they moved 32 very large corporations from all over the country to DFW in one year. I mean, we're getting corporate headquarters moving to DFW all the time. Talk about an opportunity. They're going to need to bring on more hiring and staff, and that's where we come in. We come in to help alleviate, oh my gosh, we just moved our headquarters to Dallas. We don't know anyone. We don't know the network. We don't know the people. We don't know the industries. We don't know anything. We need to ask Impact Staffing to help us. So it is a beautiful place to work for what we do.
Yeah, I think across a number of verticals too, real estate. I talked with the roofing company the other day.
Crazy.
It's really a booming place to be. And then, what we're doing with our events and everything is trying to bring a little bit of entertainment,
Love it.
networking. It needs to be a destination. Dallas really needs to be, it is kind of a destination, but it really could be way more than that. We have all the infrastructure that you need, and all the great companies are here, and it's just missing just a little bit, just a little zing,
A little
a
zing, a little
little
Chicago
zing,
zing.
a little
We need to
zing.
bring the
Yeah.
Chicago here. I will tell you, I agree with you there. Coming from such a big city like Chicago, when I've moved to Dallas, I'm going, man, nobody takes public transportation. You
Yeah.
know what? We're not going to walk 3 blocks to get to the bar. Like, what do you mean we're driving? It's just a different mindset here. And I do miss the hustle and the bustle of the downtown Chicago, going up at a skyscraper, trying to get business cards. It's just a little bit more spread out here, is probably a
Yeah.
good way to say it. But it is a great place to work.
I will say personally, I hate public transit. So that's the
There
one
you
thing I do
go. It's
love
people like
about
you.
Dallas. But a little zing, a little more zing, a little more culture, a little bit more,
Yes.
just some more
Arts
stuff
and
to do.
culture. We
Yeah.
need that.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
for. That's why we have you.
Hey, that's what I got this hat on
That's
for.
right. Looks good.
I'm locked in. So so do you guys, I mean, you said you go to a lot of networking events. Are you hosting any? Have you hosted any? Is that in
We
the
have
future for
not.
y'all?
We're still a year and a half in, and obviously, budget wise, I don't know if that's the right move for us at this point. I think in the next few years, we would love to host something, but right now, we've just been a participant, and that has been great for us too, because all it takes is one client, right? If you go to a networking event and you can come away with one new client, it was worth the monetary investment, it was worth the personal investment, it was worth the time investment. So we've been really honored about the clients that have used us. Um, I feel very humbled by the client list that we do have. I think we're going after the right clients. We're a year and a half in. Do we have 100 recruiters, half of which sit in India? Absolutely not. That's not us. So we're not a perfect fit for every single client. Some clients hire 1,000 people a year. That's not us. We can't take that on right now. Call me in 5 years when we have the recruiters to onboard 1,000 clients or candidates. But right now, we're going after that mid-market clientele, and we're doing a really good job.
What, 10 to 500 employees?
I'd say more like 500 to 3,000.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So not too
not
small,
too
bigger.
small, right? But trust me, if you have a position and you can pay the fee that it costs, like we'll work with you. It's just
Yep.
the we're finding most of our sweet spot is a good corporate company that's here that has 200 plus employees who hires consistently and uses agencies. That's a perfect spot for us.
All right. Last and final question. This one everybody does. I need you to just close your eyes just a
Closed.
moment here. I promise nothing weird's gonna happen.
I mean, we're not in person, otherwise I'd be scared. Go ahead.
Yeah, I need you to just close your eyes, and Impact Staffing is throwing their own personal amazing dream event. What would it be? And just kind of briefly describe, what you see in your head as far as a dream event for Impact Staffing.
You would be the host, you would be the
Perfect.
one planning it, and I would tell you
Perfect.
exactly the clients that I want there. And then it would just be fun, right? I think like you said, let's have some art, let's have some music, let's make it where people don't feel so stiff. I think a lot of clients appreciate having a lunch with us or a dinner with us because it's not so stiff and salesy. So I think a really cool event with food and beverages and music, and we just get to tell people who we are. They get to know us as humans and as professionals, and leave there going, wow, we love Impact Staffing. They know how to have fun, but they're also ready to work. They have the mindset to never stop. When I give them a position, I know they're going to come through, and it's going to be an easy, process working with them. So this event is going to be outside, and it's going to be sunny, and people are going to be happy, and you're going to find something fun for us to do. Maybe a little competition, because we're competitive over here. Maybe a little
Yo,
competition with the clients and us to see who wins. We're obviously always going to win. And then everybody leaves there just in a happy mood. I would say that would be it.
well,
So
have I
start
have
start
I
this
got
start
have I
this for
got the
us.
event? Have I got the event to talk to you
Yes,
about
I
after
can't wait
this
for you to
one?
host our event.
I think we're on the same page. Thank you, Ashley, so much for coming on. I so appreciate you, and I'm looking forward to growing our relationship. I mean, I got to party with some of your people on
Yes,
Sunday, but I'm looking forward to partying with you as well.
absolutely.
I want
Thank
to
you,
bring
Harrison.
the y'all out. I need to bring the y'all
Let's
out of
go,
the
baby.
Chicago.
I love
Yeah,
it. Thank you so
yeah.
much.
Thank you, Ashley. Take it easy.